Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 416. I'm Phil Graham. It's the last episode of April. I can't believe it. This year's flying by. I hope you guys are doing great. Today, we're going to talk about what ChatGPT and AI gets wrong about Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, let me start off by saying that I am an AI fan. I love it. I've been using it for years, ever since it came out, and even before it was like a big popular thing. So I love AI. I highly recommend you guys use AI, but I want you to use it right. And more importantly, I want you to combine it with your skill, because that is the true differentiation, whether it's skill you already have and or skill you're obtaining as time goes on. That combination can create amazing things for a lot of people. So I'm coming at this from somebody who is an advocate of AI. I use it all the time, every day, and I freaking love it. But how people use it many times is very wrong. And sometimes it really can cost them time or money or both. So let me ask you a question. Is ChatGPT giving out bad advice, or Gemini or Grok or Claude, etc.? Today I want to talk about where AI can miss the mark when it comes to Facebook ad, especially when it comes to strategy. And I also want to talk a little bit about how to use it correctly, because I think it's really, really important. I've done a couple episodes in the last couple months about AI because it's such an important topic, and I'll do more to come because it's an amazing tool. And again, I use it all the time, but you've got to be able to use it effectively and use it correctly to get the most benefit out of it. And I'm tired of seeing people use it wrong to where it's a detriment to them. Don't let that be you. Before we jump in, if you guys do want some help with your ads or strategy, or maybe even how to train your own AI to do better for you, for any of that stuff, just let me know, whether it's through one-on-one consulting and coaching, or maybe you want somebody to run your ads for you. Just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and let's connect. So I'm going to keep this episode pretty short and sweet because I know you guys like bite-sized episodes, and I'm going to just share 3 important things when it comes to AI today. Number 1, AI can be way too generic and way too safe in the responses it gives. So for example, if you're asking it for some tips on how to do better at Facebook ads, it can be so generic, use a clear call to action, but it may not talk about ad fatigue or platform trends or placement trends, or even certain psychology, depending on your exact type of business or customer. So those are really important issues that people do not realize. Another thing that's common is somebody will ask ChatGPT, well, how can I lower my ad cost? And it'll say something that's good, like, hey, test your creatives, duh. But it doesn't usually effectively tell you how to actually prioritize what to test first. How long do you test it for? How do you navigate the data when it starts coming in? When do you switch it? What do you switch it out for? There's so many nuances that are strategic that it's just not going to be able to match a highly skilled human who's good at this stuff. So many times it's way too generic and too basic with some of the advice that it's giving you. Again, I use AI all the time, so you got to use it in the right way, and you can train it as well. And that's something that I can always help you with, but most people don't do this. And even highly trained AIs, even from me, do nowhere near as well as me hands-on in an account. So it's such a night and day difference. So be careful, because AI can be very generic with the advice it gives. Number 2, AI with little to no context sometimes can give very bad advice. A lot of times it's not going to know your niche. It's not going to know your funnel or your specific audience's behavior, yet people treat it like it's an ad strategist when it's not. there's so many issues with this. I've seen people ask it, who should I target? But without feeding it all the proper detail and all the important things, which most people don't do. And if they do it in a way that doesn't really serve the AI. Without feeding it that kind of stuff, you're going to get generic advice or advice that may not fit your exact situation. So not having the right context is a big deal. So you got to be really careful with that. Even if you give it context, a lot of times you're not giving it the right context or doing it in the right way. So let's talk about the third thing, which is, I think, even more important, which is where AI does help. And I think the number one word with that would be guidance. It's a great tool when you steer it effectively, when you steer it effectively. So for example, what I like to use it for, well, thousands of things, but in the ad world, sometimes I'll use it to brainstorm certain hooks. I'm not just going to typically use whatever it gives me, but I'm going to brainstorm ideas for hooks for a video or for the start of the ad copy. And then I'm going to combine that with my skill, my experience, my knowledge of, for example, the client and their ideal customers and so many other things. That's so important. But brainstorming hooks, it might come up with stuff that I didn't think about. And then I can take that, I can mold that, combine that with my skill, and that can make a huge difference. I sometimes use it to think about different ad angles. Is there something I'm forgetting or that I haven't tried a while? That could be pretty cool too. You know, you can even use it to reframe something that you have thought of, but not replace it. You know, if you have a certain strategy or a certain type of ad you're running and it's not working, you can kind of put it in there and see what it can do, what it recommends you change. But the dangerous part of that, again, is just taking what it gives you word for word and putting it out there. Now, sometimes it gives you decent stuff. I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day. But again, if you compare it to somebody who's highly skilled, who runs ads all the time, it's not even close. It's like a professional team playing a 10-year-old's team. The AI just cannot compete with that when it comes to strategic things. So I recommend you guys just be careful with AI. I think you should use it. I use it all the time. But don't make the mistake of thinking that you don't have to become skilled in strategy, in advertising, in the marketing world. You have to be skilled. The people that are skilled that use AI are going to be so much better than the people that are not skilled who use AI because it makes such a big difference. So those are some thoughts about what AI gets wrong, about strategy, about Facebook ads and marketing, and also some of the things that it gets right and things that are good to use it for. I'm going to be doing a lot more episodes about this in the future because these are just a couple things we talked about. We could go in depth about everything you could use AI for in your ads and how to use it right and how to avoid using it wrong. So I'll certainly do episodes on that. Also, if you've got ideas for episodes you want me to do as it relates to this or anything else, even if it seems pretty specific to your niche or industry, let me know. I'm happy to hear about it, and there's a good chance I may end up doing an episode on that. So to me, using AI right means using it for guidance, using it as a tool, using it for ideas and for brainstorming, and then taking what you know and your differentiation and your skill and blending those two together. You be the strategist, AI can be your tool. So I highly recommend you guys use AI. I love it, but use it right, be careful, and combine it with your skill, and that could make a big difference, my friends. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique, results can vary, there's no guaranteed outcomes, so always keep that in mind. Thanks so much for listening today, you guys. I've got another great episode for you next week, but episode 416 is in the books. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I will talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.